You ever notice the people who love collaboration the most never actually collaborate? They hold meetings like hostage negotiations, all smiles, no courage, then circle back once you've done all the work. Hey, I'm Sheila. I'm not a coach or a guru. I'm the aftermath. I spent decades surrounded by adults who called avoidance a workflow and watched accountability die by PowerPoint. I'm a woman who's been promoted, laid off, restructured, and gaslit by collaboration. And to my fellow exhausted achievers still stuck in corporate burnout recovery, you already know this story. You've been the reliable one in a room full of professional ghosts. You do the work, they do the recap, they get the credit. I used to think that let's circle back meant that we were being strategic. It actually meant that we were scared to decide. So let's just pretend that we're being thoughtful until it's someone else's problem. I spent decades in offices where everyone talked about teamwork, but the only team that ever showed up was me and my anxiety goblins. Because somewhere along the way, collaboration stopped meaning together, and it started meaning, you'll handle this, right? You might think that this is about lazy coworkers, but it's not, okay? It is far more organized, so stay with me and we'll talk about it. Let me tell you about one of my most memorable meetings, okay? There were 10 of us, all right, 10. In a room to brainstorm ownership, which in corporate language means figure out who's dumb enough to take responsibility. We're all sitting under the fluorescent lights of the good conference room with titles like change management lead and cross-functional collaboration liaison. We're all debating the color of a PowerPoint slide because choosing the wrong blue could send the wrong message. Seriously, that was a thing. We spent 40 minutes discussing next steps, and when I suggested that we loop someone in from design, so that we could be consistent with our messaging and ask someone who actually knows about colors to make an educated decision, I get the inevitable, well, let's just circle back and revisit that later. Dude, if I had $1 for every time I heard that, I could have bought the company and fired you all by now. Then everyone kind of exhaled, like something productive had just happened. It didn't. This isn't collaboration. This is collective hesitation. I remember another time that I ran a project where 5 directors shared ownership. Translation? Nobody owned it, but they all had opinions. One of them actually told me, "You take initiative so naturally, Sheila." Every week they'd say, let's keep discussing. And while they discussed, I went ahead and built the entire plan, executed it, and sent the update that they later present as their achievement. But when something went wrong, suddenly it was, Sheila was leading that. It was her. Go talk to her. I wasn't leading a project. I was babysitting titles. Responsibility is just an outlet with too many plugs. Everyone gets a charge, but you're the one that gets fried. So what do you do when you get so good at saving things that you forget how to stop? For years, I thought that the fix was to work harder, right? If I just stayed ahead of the mess, over-prepared, double-checked, wrote the follow-up notes, worked harder, faster, neater, made everything idiot-proof, they would finally step up. Nope. I just trained them better. My overfunctioning was their business model. I'm pretty sure that that's what half my one-on-ones are. They're just helping me help other burned out overachievers write resignation emails that they're never going to send. If you're interested, the link is in the description. People learned that if they stayed vague long enough, I'd define the plan. That if they smiled and said we, I'd make sure that we didn't fail. If they scheduled enough touch points, I'd eventually touch all the work myself. Touching all the work! I was the human version of a group project. Everyone gets an A, and I got therapy. I should have just put my name on everyone's paycheck while I was at it. That would have been smart. It wasn't ambition, it was survival. Tell me, how long did you over-prepare before you bottomed out? Did you stop or are you still doing it? I didn't know how to watch something fall apart without trying to fix it. I confused panic with purpose, and nobody corrected me because they benefited from that confusion. I remember once hitting a level of exhaustion so deep that I couldn't even read my own notes in a meeting. My brain just stopped, right? The screen blurred, my hands shook, I started sweating, and the only thought in my head was, is this what competence costs? That's the thing about corporate burnout recovery. The hardest part isn't leaving, it's unlearning the reflex to rescue. It's teaching your exhausted achiever brain that not fixing it isn't the same as failing. You think that chaos was an accident. It wasn't. Let me explain, okay? Corporate culture romanticizes collaboration, but most of what they call teamwork is just collective fear of blame. Saying let's circle back isn't a strategy. It's the adult version of not it. We build entire systems around avoiding ownership. Meetings that exist so nobody has to decide. Emails that CC everyone just to dilute accountability. CC on an email is basically the office version of I was here, but I didn't touch anything. Teams threads that loop for days because no one wants to put their name next to a phone call. It's like watching digital tumbleweeds roll by while everyone pretends that they forgot to hit send. And the irony, these are the same people who talk about empowerment. They want progress as long as someone else goes first, so they'll have someone to blame if it goes wrong. You can smell the terror in those rooms. Nobody wants to say yes. Nobody wants to say no. Everyone wants to say great discussion and disappear with a renewed sense of visibility because apparently being seen near the problem counts as working on it. So now when someone says, let's circle back, I just smile and think, nah, let's not. Because I've already been around this circle and I know exactly how it ends. Me overfunctioning, you underperforming, and both of us pretending that that's balance. I didn't survive burnout by learning how to do less. I survived by learning how to stop doing everyone else's job. And if that makes me difficult, fine. Let's just put a pin in that and circle back later. You spend years trying to prove that you're a team player, and one day you realize that you weren't collaborating, you were consenting. And that's the next part, and it's even worse.